Hi guys, welcome to another video, from Little Too Simple. Today, the name Marvel is synonymous with success, due mainly to their extreme success with movies. And as soon as we say Marvel, the movie Avengers pops into everyone's mind. But contrary to what most people think, Marvel was not always this successful. In fact, they came back so many times from what seemed like the point of no return that it can be said, if Marvel is good at something, it's making a comeback. Marvel was on the verge of bankruptcy at least 3 times since the company's inception, and it even went bankrupt in 1996. The Avengers either saved or brought Marvel back from bankruptcy on multiple occasions. In today's video, we will take you through Marvel's journey, involving repeated failures and successes, focusing on how they reached the point where they are now considered an extremely successful company. This video is going to be a bit longer than normal, but if you are an entrepreneur or an individual going through a crisis, then this is a must-watch for you. This video is the result of countless hours of work by our team. It would help us a lot if you like this video, subscribe to our channel, and share it with your friends. Now, let's roll. Marvel started as a comic book company in 1938. The founder later revealed in interviews that his inspiration to start Marvel Comics was the great success of Superman comics launched by DC. Marvel's first superheroes were the Human Torch, who could control fire, and the Submariner, who could operate underwater. Neither reached the level of Superman's success. The company's Captain America character, which debuted in 1941, found some success during the Second World War. This first Avenger helped the company survive for the next decade. The success of Captain America comics helped Marvel survive into the 1950s. However, comic books in general were suddenly scrutinized as a potential bad influence on children, too salacious, a waste of time, corrupters of minds, and creators of juvenile delinquents. They had the same reputation as heavy metal records in the 1980s. As a result, the industry collapsed. To counter this, Marvel shifted its focus to non-superhero genres such as horror. But the company barely scraped by. Its first big comeback happened in the early 1960s when the anti-comic book sentiment died down and superheroes resurged. In the early 1960s, the comic book market began picking up again. But to make a dent in market share, Marvel had to come up with new superhero characters and great storylines. Enter Stan Lee. Contrary to popular belief, Stan Lee didn't immediately create Spider-Man, the Avengers, or other major superhero comics. Instead, he first tried to understand why Marvel wasn't performing as well as its competitors. He found 2 main problems. 1. Most Marvel characters were not relatable to regular people. 2. Their characters had limited scope in terms of backstories and storylines, limiting their revenue potential. Stan Lee fixed these issues in 2 ways. He created superheroes with emotions, depth, weaknesses, and everyday problems. This made them relatable. A great example is Spider-Man struggling to earn a living or find love. He increased the scope of Marvel characters by weaving them together into shared storylines. Heroes crossed over into each other's comics, encouraging fans to buy multiple series to follow the full story. This was the birth of the Marvel Universe and one of the earliest examples of a shared fictional universe. The Avengers played a key role in this first comeback. Stan Lee's creative and business genius catapulted Marvel into 2 decades of unprecedented success. But the sunshine didn't last forever. In the 1970s and 80s, Stan Lee tried to expand Marvel into television and films, but mostly failed. Then came the first major executive produced by George Lucas. Despite Lucas' Star Wars success, this cinematic disaster was a total flop. These failures put Marvel into another crisis. Marvel's revival in this period came less from its own actions and more from market trends. While Marvel failed on screen, its comic book business thrived, thanks to a new type of buyer, the collector. In the 1980s, comic books became investments. Much like baseball cards, special issues were bought like IPOs, and Marvel capitalized by releasing more Avengers series, again drawing on its strengths, powerful characters with interconnected plots. This boom lasted a decade until the same market forces that lifted Marvel brought it crashing down again. By the late 80s, Marvel was a hot property, changing hands several times. It went public in 1991 at the peak of the collector boom. Then the bubble burst, many comic shops closed, readers left, and the market crashed in the mid-90s. Marvel went bankrupt in 1996. The situation worsened as corporate control battles broke out. When the dust settled, Isaac Perlmutter gained control. Like Stan Lee decades earlier, he diagnosed the core problem. The future of superheroes wasn't in comics, it was in movies. Marvel's movie comeback began with Blade, 1998, modest success. X-Men, 2000, strong reception. Spider-Man, 2002, blockbuster hit. But these were made by other studios licensing Marvel characters. Marvel realized real money lay in making its own movies. They took a massive gamble, a $525 million loan from Merrill Lynch, putting up the movie rights to their entire catalog as collateral. One of the first planned films, Iron Man. Released in 2008, Iron Man was Marvel Studios' first in-house production, and a massive hit. It made bold choices, casting Robert Downey Jr., then a scandal-prone actor, hiring Jon Favreau, known for comedies, as director, and choosing a lesser-known hero. The risk paid off because Marvel returned to its core formula: superheroes as real, flawed people, and a tightly connected shared universe. Every film connected to the next, weaving a massive cinematic web that kept fans hooked. Marvel's cinematic universe has been a flawless run, every single movie a hit. The franchise has grossed over $22 billion worldwide, more than Harry Potter, James Bond, or Star Wars. Marvel's journey proves the power of perseverance, calculated risks, and adapting to changing times. It took nearly 90 years, multiple bankruptcies, and countless near-death experiences to reach this level of success. If you're a struggling entrepreneur thinking of giving up, remember Marvel's comeback story. One setback is not the end of the road. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, and subscribe for more inspiring stories.